Oh, you stay down there, you. Hello. Hi, everybody. Yoo-hoo. Okay, here we go. Lockanory presents Winnie the Pooh by A. Milne, Chapter 2. Also, as well, we brought Little Pooh along with us as well. A little bit of a technical gremlin. Oh, there he is. Oh, that's funny. Looks like a coyote. No. Show off it. Okay, so, Chapter 2, in which Pooh goes visiting and gets into a tight place. Edward Bear, known to his friends as Winnie the Pooh, or Pooh for short, was walking through the forest one day, humming proudly to himself. He'd made up a little hum every morning as he was doing his stoutness exercises in front of the glass. Tra-la, la-la-la, la-la, as he stretched up as high as he could go, and then tra-la-la, oh, as he tried to reach down to his toes. After breakfast, he'd said it over and over to himself until he'd learned it off by heart and was now humming it right through properly. Well, he was humming this to himself and walked along again very happily. Hi, Rachel. He was wondering what everybody else was doing and what it felt like to be somebody else. When suddenly he came to a sandy bank, and in the bank was a large hole. Aha, said Pooh. If I know anything about anything, that hole means... What does it mean? Rabbit. And rabbit means company, he said. And company means food and listening to me humming. So he bent down and put his head in the hole and called out, Is anybody at home? There was a sudden scuffling noise from inside the hole, and then silence. What I said was, Is anybody home? Called out Pooh loudly. No, said a voice, and then added, You needn't shout so loud. I heard you quite well the first time. Oh, bother, said Pooh. Isn't there anybody here at all? Nobody. But Winnie the Pooh took his head out of the hole for a little bit and thought to himself, Well, there must be somebody down there, because somebody must have said nobody. Sorry about that. So he put his head back in the hole and said, Hello, Rabbit, isn't that you? No, said Rabbit, but in a different voice. But isn't that Rabbit's voice? I don't think so, said Rabbit. It isn't meant to be. Oh, said Pooh. So he took his head out of the hole and had another think. And then he put it back in and said, Well, could you kindly tell me where Rabbit is, please? He's gone to see his friend Pooh Bear, who's a great friend of his. But this is me, said Winnie the Pooh, very surprised. What sort of me? Pooh Bear. Are you sure? Said Rabbit, still very surprised. Oh, quite sure, said Pooh. Oh, well, then come in. So Pooh pushed and pushed and pushed his way through the hole, and at last he got in. Oh, you were quite right, said Rabbit, looking him all over. It is you. I'm glad to see you. Who did you think it was? Well, I wasn't sure. You know how it is in the forest. One can't have anybody coming into one's house. One has to be careful. How about a mouthful of something? Pooh always liked getting little something at 11 o'clock in the morning, and he was very glad to see Rabbit getting out the plates and the mugs. And when Rabbit said, Honey or condensed milk with your bread, he was so excited that he said, Both, please. And then, not to seem greedy, he added, But don't bother about the bread, please. And then after for a long time, he didn't say anything because he was eating. And he ate so much as well. Until at last, humming to himself in a rather sticky voice, he got up and shook Rabbit lovingly by the paw and said that he must be going now. Must you? Said Rabbit politely. Well, I could stay a little longer if you, and he looked towards the larder. As a matter of fact, I was going out myself directly. Oh, well then, I'll be going on. Goodbye. Well, goodbye, if you're sure you won't have any more. Is there any more? Pooh asked quickly. Taking all the covers off the dishes, Rabbit replied, No, there wasn't. I thought not. Well, goodbye then, I must be going. So he started to climb out of the hole. He pulled with his front paws, and then pushed with his back paws. and in a little while his nose was out in the open again, and then his ears, and then his front paws, and then his shoulders, and then, "Oh, help," said Pooh. I'd better go back." So he tried to shuffle back and couldn't move. "Oh, bother," said Pooh. "I'll have to go on." So he tried to shuffle through, but he still couldn't move. "Oh, no, I can't do either," said Pooh. "Oh, help and bother." Now, by this time, Rabbit wanted to go for a walk too, and finding the front door full, he went out by the back door and came round to see him and look at him. Hello, are you stuck?" he asked. No, said Pooh carelessly. "Just resting and thinking and humming to myself." "Oh, well, here, give me a paw." So Pooh Bear stretched out a paw, and Rabbit pulled and pulled and pulled. "Ow!" cried Pooh. "You're hurting." "Well, the fact is," said Rabbit, "you're stuck." "It all comes," said Pooh crossly, "from not having front doors big enough." "It all comes," said Rabbit sternly, "of eating too much. I thought at the time, only I didn't like to say anything, that one of us was eating too much. And I knew it wasn't me. Oh well, I'll go fetch Christopher Robin." Now Christopher Robin lived at the other end of the forest, and when he came back with Rabbit and saw the front half of Pooh, he said, "Silly old bear," and in such a loving voice that everyone felt quite hopeful again. "I was just beginning to think," said Winnie the Pooh, sniffing slightly, "that Rabbit might never be able to use his front door again, and I should hate that." "Well, so should I," said Rabbit. "Use his front door again?" said Christopher Robin. "Of course he'll use his front door again." Oh, good," said Rabbit. "If we can't pull you out, Pooh, maybe we can push you back." Rabbit scratched his whiskers thoughtfully and pointed out that when Pooh was pushed back again, he was back. And of course, nobody was more happy to see Pooh than he was, but still some people lived in trees and some people lived underground. "You mean I'd never get out?" said Pooh. "Well, I mean, having got so far, it seems a pity to waste it." Christopher Robin did agree and nodded. "Well, there's only one thing to be done," he said. "We'll have to wait for you to get thin again." "How long does that take?" said Pooh anxiously. About a week, I should think." "But I can't stay here for a week." "You can stay here all right, silly old bear. It's getting you out that's the tricky bit." "Well, we'll read to you," said Rabbit. "And I hope it doesn't snow or rain," he added. "And, well, I say, old fellow, if you're taking up a good deal of my room, do you mind if I use your back legs to hang my towels on? I mean, they are there doing nothing, and it would be very convenient just to hang the towels on." "A week?" said Pooh. "What about meals?" "No meals, I'm afraid," said Christopher Robin, "because of getting thin quicker. But we will read to you." The bear began to sigh, and then he found that he couldn't because he was so tightly stuck, and a tear rolled down his eye as he said, "Would you read a sustaining, friendly book that would help comfort a wedged bear in a great tightness?" So for a week, Christopher Robin read that sort of book at the north end of Pooh, and Rabbit hung his washing on the south end. And in the middle, the bear felt himself getting slenderer and slenderer and thinner. And at the end of the week, Christopher Robin said, "Now." So he took hold of front paws of Pooh, and Rabbit took hold of Christopher Robin, and all of Christopher Robin's friends and relations took hold of Rabbit, and they all pulled together. And for a long time, Pooh said only, "Ow, ow." And then all of a sudden, out he came, shooting like a ball. And Christopher Robin and Rabbit and all of Rabbit's friends and their relations went head over heels backwards, and then Pooh came landing on top of them. So, with a nod of thanks to his friends, he went on his walk through the forest, humming proudly to himself. But Christopher Robin looked after him lovingly and said to himself, "Silly old bear." So, right. Hope you enjoyed chapter 2 there. Sorry I had to do it again. There's a bit of a technical gremlin. So, if you do like stories, check down in the link below to my good friend Digby and Becky. So, see you tomorrow. Sweet dreams, wash your hands, and stay safe. Nighty nights. Say bye, Pooh.